What's up, guys? It's Monday. I feel like shit. Oh man, what a great start to a Monday morning. I woke up this morning. My throat felt like horrible hell. It took me probably fucking 40 minutes before I was ever actually able to swallow. So much pain and my fucking glands were all swollen. Scares me because I don't want strep throat. It's been a while since I had it, but it's not to say I couldn't still get it. And but pretty much it's just my sinuses draining at night through my throat. And I sleep with my mouth open, unfortunately. I'd like to be a nose breather because when I fall asleep at night, I'm breathing through my nose. But when I wake up in the morning, I have my mouth open. So that means I'm a natural mouth breather. And so that didn't help either. But regardless, I woke up, felt like shit. Almost didn't come to work today. But I was like too close to being work time to call off. So forced myself to get up, come in here. Here we are. The day's been going, it's only been going for about 2.5 hours so far, so it's not really like the day has really gone by. But it's not going bad so far. For how much I've been here. My computer arrives today. I'm so fucking happy, like beyond ecstatic, and if it doesn't work again, I'm gonna cry. Because I bought the computer, it didn't work, and it shipped from somewhere like middle of the country to here, and then it didn't work. So it could have not worked before it got to me, or it broke in the process of coming from where it was to where I am. On the other hand, then we have, I just sent it to the company that owns I own the computer, but the company who owns the brand of computer I have, and they're in California. So I just shipped it from here to California, and now it's got to be shipped from California back to here, which is actually already in my town. But, it's just the shipping, and then it's even farther than where I got it originally, and now I have to pray and hope that it didn't break again and that it shows up actually working. So I'm super excited about that, but it also really sucks being excited about something and not feeling good, because it's like I kind of planned on doing some video games on it tonight, but if I feel like shit, I'm not going to really want to be draining myself of life through staring at video screens. But yeah, man, I was watching these two guys over the weekend. I usually don't start watching new people on YouTube unless it's a Sunday. It always seems to be Sunday. Like, Sundays are the days that the people that I watch usually don't post videos on Sundays. So, since they don't post videos on Sundays, and I'm all caught up with it, most all the videos, it comes down to the point that I really don't have much to watch when it comes to viewer content that I enjoy watching. So that's when I'll start exploring a little bit, dabbing in a little bit here, a little bit here. And, I never really look somebody up. It's usually like a suggested video about something. And then in the midst of watching whatever I'm watching about something, I'll meet a person through the YouTubes then that I enjoyed watching their video, and I'll go to their profile, and then I'll start watching some more of their videos, and like so on and so forth. And the two people that I got into watching, I will definitely give somewhat of a small shout out. Not that my channel is really gonna like boost their channels, being as they're bigger than my channel is. Well, actually, I don't really know what the one guy's name is. But but he's been blind since birth. I'll have to figure out his name for sure, but he's been blind since birth. And there's a guy who records and then edits the videos for the blind guy. And it's just pretty much like Q&As, man. You know, people will send him questions and ask him, you know, what's it like to be blind and how he deals with this and what sight means to him and, you know, stuff like this, because this is a guy who was born blind, so he has never seen. It's different if you go half your life, you know, even say 10 years of your life, whatever it be, before you lose sight, because then you knew what things looked like prior to not being able to see. This guy has never seen, ever. He was born blind. He's 50-some years old. So, I mean, like, you know, life, he has experienced a lot of life without ever seeing it. And the views and the opinions of this guy are the most wholehearted, amazing outlook you will ever hear anybody talk about, because he is so humble and he has to trust people because he can't see. You know, he's built on having to trust strangers to help him out because he's blind and can't see a damn thing, and it doesn't, you know, and he was talking like race. It doesn't matter race, how tall you are, if you're fat, short, doesn't matter. He doesn't see that. He only hears what you sound like and what you say to him. So he judges people via listening, and he can really learn someone's character good by listening, which, you know, I'm a talker, so I'm also a good listener, so I've also been in that same boat of understanding that. But that's why I super enjoyed watching him, plus some of the things that he talks about, like being blind and what it's like and what his brain is like being as he's blind. It's fantastic. I mean, like, it's phenomenal what the brain does for us. And then you think of somebody who is missing something that we have, it just means his brain's amazing at everything else. You know, it's flawless. It's amazing. And the last guy, or the second guy that I got into watching, I watch a lot of documentary things on YouTube and shit about, like, prison life and, you know, gang life and stuff like that, just mainly because it's enjoyable. You watch it on TV a lot, so they have things like that on TV a lot. So, you know, I've gotten to that, and then also not to make myself sound gangster and or like anything that I'm not, but, you know, the core group of people that I hung out with in high school, me and about 3 other people out of, say, 25 to 30 kids that were all in this, like, core group, didn't end up going to jail. So I was one of those people. You know, it's not really like something to brag about. Oh, yeah, I didn't go to jail, all my friends did. But, I mean, that's just kind of like the factors of life. Like, that's where Matt's life was. I was in a spot where I was hanging out with really bad people. You know, they sold drugs, they did drugs, they ripped people off, they got into fights with other people from other towns and stuff. And so it just pretty much turned into the typical, like, small town rural area where it's like this city has their core group of people, and then this city has their core group of people, and this city has their core group, you know, all the surrounding cities. And you know, we'd interact with each other and we could be cool, and they'd sell drugs to us and we'd sell drugs to them, whatever be the case kind of thing. But sooner or later beef would happen, and this dude stole this dude's girl, or this dude was at a party and was hitting on this dude's girl, or whatever the fuck, usually involved a girl. But whatever would happen that would start the beef and their fight, and then it would turn into pretty much like a gang thing, you know, like it was Wadsworth versus Norton, and then all of the kids in Norton that were part of this group were doing everything in their power to fuck over everybody in Wadsworth that was in my group kind of thing. Or, I'm not saying specifics, I'm just throwing things out. But, you know, as a kid, as a young adult, you know, that lifestyle thought was actually cool to me. Like, the thought that I had somebody out there gunning for me meant that I was in some pretty hardcore shit, even though I was really like a side man. I did nothing. I sold zero. Well, when I was super young, I might have, but like, I didn't sell drugs, and, you know, I just partied with them, and I didn't, you know, I smoked weed, but that was as far as that went with the drugs. Like, you know, like, I was a very, I don't want to say good, but, you know, I was good. I was better than all of them. And So the thought that somebody was gunning for me because I was in this group of like hoodlums, then, you know, I don't know, for some reason that was cool to me. But so now that I'm away from all that, and I know that I don't want to be involved in any of that, and I never ever want to be in jail, and I'm glad I don't hang out with those people, and I'm glad I never went to jail, kind of thing. It's fun now to rewatch, or to go back and watch like prison stuff and gang fight stuff, because in theory, if I would have kept up with my life, I would have ended in the exact same place that all my friends ended up, and it would have been for those exact same like things that, you know, that show's about. And so sometimes it's cool to watch and be like, hey, look, you got smart and avoided this part of your life. Like, good job, Matt. Way to be on top of your life. So the guy that I end up watching, just because this video is going long and I really need to end it, but this guy I was watching, if any of you guys are interested in watching somebody who, I know I was just talking praises about the blind guy, so I want to find his name out. He would be a worthy person to watch if you want to find out some cool information about blind people. But secondly, the show is called The After Prison Show. Just type that into YouTube, watch this content. I'd say first thing, if you're looking to actually watch his stuff, you want something to, like, you know, click on his profile, bring up that main channel video that comes up in the beginning, and just watch that. It's pretty much the story of what he did that led him to what he then created this channel. It's about 14 minutes long. It's actually extremely inspirational. Like, you watch it, you feel sad, you feel bad for this guy, but at the same time you don't, because it's, you know, he's a bad person. He's not really bad, but, you know, he was a bad person, and he accepts that. And that's humble. That's beyond. You know, he got caught with drugs. He got caught with a gun on him. He got caught with a gun on him with a felon in the car. You know, I mean, he got caught with some bullshit. Got charged to a maximum of 17 years due to some other bullshit. And, like, nothing too crazy, but due to some other shit of him pretty much admitting to the cops the day, or right when he got arrested, and told them, this is mine, this is my gun, no one in the car knows that I have it, blah, 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 blah. He actually got a little less, so they ended up sending him to prison, a minimum security prison, but prison nonetheless, for 7.5 years. And he went, when he first was in there, he was real typical, you know, gang member in jail life kind of thing, you know. He went to jail, he started tattooing people, he was getting in fights, getting thrown in the pit, selling drugs, you know, all kinds of shit. The typical everyday life that he was living outside, but just inside of jail now. But it was prior to him being served his 7 years. He was waiting to go to court to get his verdict, and he had bought 14 pills off of a guy that he smuggled into the place they keep you until you're waiting, and then they'll take you out and then take you downtown to the courthouse to, like, go to your proceeding. And he had 14 pills he smuggled in. He doesn't explain how, but most likely they're butt pills. If you haven't figured that out, that's how people in jail smuggle things. And he told himself that he was going to eat all 14 pills right before they came in to get him, so that way, by the time he was standing in front of the judge, he would fall over and die right in front of him, to be a fuck you, I'm not, you know, I'm an idiot, and I did all this bad stuff to get to where I'm at, but I'm not going through that, I'm just going to end it now, kind of thing. And he said he was 100% into, you know, like, he was going to kill himself, like, he was set on that. And he said one thing saved his life. A man handed him a book right before he left that room, and that book changed his life. Now, I'm not going to be mean here and say anything bad about the Bible or anything, but that's the typical moment when you hear people say this, that people say, somebody handed me a Bible, and in that moment, I fell in love with God. Like, that's the typical BS you hear. I don't believe in that shit. I've never understood when somebody said they handed me a Bible and I all of a sudden believed in God. Like, that's not how that works. And it wasn't how it worked for him, which makes it even better. Someone handed him a chicken noodle book for the prisoner soul book. And it's just a big, if you never heard the chicken noodle soup for the blank soul kind of thing, books. They're for people who are sick or had something bad happen. And there's like other stories, other people that went through that same struggle to kind of like help you out in yours. And this author had made one about people who had gone to prison for shit. And that guy read that book. And because of reading that book, he completely changed his life. And in 7 years, he made sure that he was a completely different person when he came out. And now he does this after prison show in which he tries to help other people who get out of prison that are in a right state of mind, but they don't have the ability to get a job and they can't find a place to live. And that's awesome. Like, that, to see somebody be like a gangbanger and then completely flop their life around to do everything in their power to help other people who are stuck in this shitty situation that they were in, but they had the mentality to get out of it and to stay away from those bad things that involved them to get there. Like, that's nothing but applauds. Like, that's awesome. We should love people like this. And that's why I subscribed to his channel. Because it was like, I might not watch your content every day like some people might. But I'll subscribe because that's still supporting somebody who I feel like has the ability to succeed in this life. And has the ability to do good things. Even though he decided to make some dumbass decisions in his younger age. That was pretty much that. Really long video. Might as well call this Matt Freeman Podcast episode 2, but it's not. It's just a long vlog. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, a like would be much appreciated. If you are a part of this channel, you can share the video to show other people how long I just fucking talked to you about awesome people in prison and that are blind. And, you could share, subscribe, share, like, new to the channel, subscribe, keep up with awesome daily content. And last but not least, if you'd like, you could leave a comment below. Like I said, I'll have to find the blind guy out for you guys. But if you guys want, you could look up the after prison show. And then watch it, see what you think. Let me know in the comments below if you liked him. Like I said, I have no ties at him. I'm not really, nothing I could really do besides shout out his channel to other people. But I mean, it was a fantastic channel, and I'm really happy for the guy. So, hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'm going back into work because I've literally spent the last 20 minutes, if you can't tell, on the smoke break. And the reason I got all fidgety there for a second is because my manager just got back to work. He left like a while ago, so I gotta go.